So make sure you guys are focusing for the topics that we cover already. And I think as every time I mentioned this one too, whenever you get a chance, please go to your resources or the online portal and then go download that notes and then go over those questions. Because the more you kind of like look at those questions, and then your brain is going to be more familiarized. And the next time when you see a question like that, and then you're without any difficulty, you're going to get it correctly. Okay, so just a refresher, last time we did talk about the functions. We already pulled the points or pulled the data from the graphs, and we find the f of x and all those type of questions. Okay, so today we're going to continue with a little bit of the, next topic I can say, but again, the basics of the polynomial functions. And if you're algebra 2 or, so you are more familiar with this one, if you're taking algebra 1, it's still kind of like a little bit of new, but at the same time, you have done this one too. But this is very, very basic and important for the quadratic and the other rational functions as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about today is the quadratics and the polynomials. Okay, so that's today's topic we're going to start with, and then we're going to spend some good amount of time on this one because I want to make sure you're totally good to go with the basics, because we don't want you to lose any of these. So we want to make sure that you're totally good with the ideas and the, what is the problems you need to ask to solve and all those questions as well. So first, basics of this one, if you see any factoring, or if I write an x squared plus 2, and then these are called terms. So this is a term and this is a term. So these are called terms. I guess it's probably, you might, some of you guys already know this one, but I just want to just go over quickly some basics, and then we can jump onto the, exam type questions as well. So that way you guys are pretty good with this one. Okay. So these are the terms, and then terms are separated by a plus or minus sign. Always, you guys know it. Let's say if I write it x squared and then times 2, this is 2x squared, and this is only one term. But these are, here is the two terms. Okay, so the terms are always separated by a positive or a negative, but not multiply or divide. Remember that. Okay, so again, in this one, you can also look at a monomial. Let's say if we have one term, this is one term is monomial. If I have a two terms, what do I call? Put them in the chat box. If I have a two terms, what do I call that polynomial? Right, that's correct. Good. That's right. Yep, you guys are good. Okay, that's a binomial. That's correct. So two terms, binomial, and then three, trinomial. That's good. And anything like more than three, we call as a polynomial. Okay, poly means it's like more. Okay, more than three, we can call as the polynomials. But anyhow, so when it comes to the polynomials, and basically, I think as in the previous classes, we learned a little bit of that. But again, we're going to move on to understanding what is a factoring means. Okay, factoring. So what's a factoring means? Yes, anybody just unmute yourself and tell me what do you know? Even if you say wrong or mistake, I'm still be happy because you explained it to me something. So tell me what is a factoring if you remember some out of that. Nobody? Okay, then I'll call names there. Okay. All right. So how about Abhishek? What do you think? Okay, looks like we have some trouble with that. Yeah, so just to basically splitting up with basically. Sanjana, what do you think factoring?
Factoring is like if there's like an equation, you make it, I don't know how to explain, but like parentheses, you make it, and then you do like this the FOIL to get into the equation.
Exactly. Like, no, you guys know already. Yeah, just you'll need to know like how to explain things, okay? So the factorings are basically, let's say if I give a 6, 6 factors are 2 times 3. Okay, just like if I have a 12, I can write it down 2 times 12. I can break it down 2 times 6, 6, and then 3. This. These are the factors for the 12. Okay, so the same thing when it comes to the polynomial, you can do that factoring as well. And so whatever you guys learned in elementary school, that could be applied to the high school as well, or the middle school. So for example, if I take some factors, so I'm going to take a simple one and then go to factoring itself here. So when it comes to the trinomial, let's say if I have x squared minus 5x plus 6. I want to find the factors for this one. Okay, so I'm going to go slowly because I want to make sure you guys understand this one really well. Especially this is a big concept for PSAT or the NMSQT. So the NMSQT, which is all of you guys are going to take, especially if you're going to be a junior, this is a big thing for you guys. But if you're not a junior, but you're still taking PSAT, you're still good to go, okay? Because this topic is really, really important and they can ask in-depth questions. Why do why do we need to know in depth? Because if you understand concept in depth, and then it's going to make more sense, even though they change the questions format and all those things, and you still be able to answer them well, easily, without any difficulties. Okay, so let's try to understand factoring. And when it comes to the factoring, so first thing what you're going to do, you always look at the last term. Okay, look for the last term, 6. 1 second. Yeah. So you're going to find the last term is going to be 6. You're trying to find the factors of the 6. And then when you add, you need to get the -5 in the middle term. But when you multiply these two factors, you need to get the last term. Okay? So you need to get the factors of this one. So if I do that one, what I can do, 6, I can write as 6 times 1 or 2 times 3, which is same as 3 times 2. So I think those are the factors I can get. So there are a couple of ways you guys, as a teachers, we teach you guys, but there are a couple of ways. You can just write this one 6 on the top and then -5 on the bottom. And then you kind of like factors you write here. When you multiply, you get this. When you add, subtract, you need to get this. So to get a -5, I'm going to put both of them are negatives. Then you got the factors are x minus 2, x minus 3. That's it. And you got it right away. So that's the factors of basic idea of this behind. Good to go? So those are the factoring questions. But, obviously you guys are very familiar with this, but we're going to practice a couple of questions. And that way, so we should be good to go. Let me see. I'm going to put some questions on factoring. We'll get a little bit practice on this one, and then we can jump on to the test questions. True. Okay. So let's try factoring with the simple ones. And I want everybody to practice this because the more the good practice you get, the better it is easier for you guys. So I'll leave that example there, and then I'm going to put this one here. So let's try them. And if you struggle, ask me, I'll help you. But if you feel good, just go factor these 3 questions. Start with that. Okay, I see some answers already popping up. That's good. That's good. So there.
I'm sorry, did we do both 1 and 3?
Yeah. Okay. And then again, these questions are good for your school, but not for the SATs or PSATs. Okay, but the basics are important. We're gonna do what type of questions comes under the test, but this practice will, give you the speed and also how to answer the questions as well. So let's do all the questions and also the number 5 as well. 1, 3, and 5, all 3. And put your answers on the chat box. And if you don't know how to do the factoring, it's okay, just let me know. So that way I can go over with time. But this topic, you can't miss it. And you can't take it easy on this one. That's good. All right, so definitely good. I see a lot of good answers out there. And I just want to see if anybody have a different answers. You guys are really good with this. I like that. Okay, that's good. But I want to make sure all of the answers are coming from everybody, not just 1 or 2 people. I just want to see an answer from everybody. Even if it is a mistake, it's not a problem. Or if you don't know how to do it, just put them, I don't know. And cool. All right, let's go over quickly. Okay. So now when I see this is +7, I can draw my thing like this, put a 7 here, the middle term 8 here, 7 factors, 7 times 1. So that should work. So it's going to be x plus 7 and x plus 1. Good. And same thing with the next one. Put a 90 here and then 1 here. So what times what gives you 90? And then when you add or subtract, you'll see 1. Obviously 9 times 10 should work, but I need a -90, but a positive 1. So I'm going to give the negative to the 9. So it's going to be n minus 9, n plus 10. Same thing with finally, you need to get 9 here, -10 here. So I think 9 times 1 should work, but I need the negative, so I'm going to put both negatives. So when I add, I get -10. When I multiply, I get a positive. Good, everybody? So it's a simple, okay, n minus 9 and n minus 1. Good. So that's a basic factoring in this case. I'm going to skip this one now, and we're going to see what if the question. Sometimes the basic questions may come like this too. So we're going to do one more factoring quickly. Okay, go ahead and then try this one. I have a number in front. Let's see what you guys think. Go ahead and try and see what you guys think. I see some different answers. That's okay. Okay. All right. So eyes on the screen, because I see some different answers out there. And first of all, when I see a question like the coefficient of front, and then probably you might learn in algebra class, you need to multiply these two and then do the math, right? And then do the factoring. Or before you do that one, you always check your mind, tell like, hey, can I factor this one? Yes, I can take the factor 2 out. So when I get that one, then I'm going to get a k squared plus 11k plus 30. And then I can just bring this 30, then just get 11 and see what numbers you're going to get. So I need 11 and then 30 is 6 times 5 work. So that's going to be 6 or k plus 6, k plus 6, and then k plus 5. Okay. So 2 should be of the factoring as well. So sometimes you may write 2k plus 12 or 2k plus 10, and that is also correct, but it is not completely factored. And you may sometimes lose points in school, not of the SATs, because they don't ask you these type of questions. Okay, good to go, all of you? Okay. Awesome. So if you get good to go with that, let's go on to the factoring questions and like what type of questions do we see on the test kind of things. Okay. All right, let's go over one question here. And these are the type of questions we're gonna see on the test point of view. We'll practice more, so no stress on this one. So Desh, can you please read this question for us?
Yeah. Which of the following is a factor of x squared plus 8x plus 16? A, x minus 4, B, x minus 8, C, x plus 4, D, x plus 8.
Let's go ahead and try this one. These are the one test question. Simple ones, but okay, let's see some answers. That's good. That's good. Saket. Let's see what you got. Bhavani, got to see the answer. That's good. Put some answers. Okay, good. All right, so once you see the answers, I know I already see some answers coming up. That's pretty good. So you want to get the 16 here and 8 here. Obviously, you can write it. What times what gives you 16, and then what plus what. So it's going to be 4 should work. So 4 should work. So it's going to be x plus 4, and then x plus 4. So those are the factors. Obviously, you can get the answer easily, which is pretty simple, right? So that is really good. Okay, next one. Now the next question is going to be a little bit of challenging one. And then let's give a try on this one so we can see and what we can get it out. All right, Sanjana, can you please read this question for us?
Which of the following is a factor of 6x squared plus 7x plus 2?
So this one is a little bit of challenging compared to what we did it before, since behind we don't have any perfect factors for this one. So we have to do it a little bit differently. And let's give it a try first. And if you have a difficulty, and then I'm going to teach this one anyways, because these are a little different ones. That's good. I see some answers popping up already. That's good. Very good. Okay. We'll check. Good. Very good. Nice. Excellent. So since you guys kind of like got the answers already, so I'm gonna go over this one because this is a one more extra problem that we need to understand how to answer these questions. But if you already know how to do this, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some couple of questions. I want you to guys get some practice or solve them. And then meanwhile, I'm gonna explain this question to the other kids out there too. So you can try on those questions. Okay, eyes on the screen if you have a little struggle with this one, how to do it. So before the questions we did, we don't have any coefficient right here before the x squared. But this one we have a coefficient. So what you do, you multiply these two. So you multiply these two. So when you multiply these two, you're going to get a 2. So you do the same thing again right there. Multiply, you get a 12. Add or subtract, you need to get a 7. Look at the numbers that you get you. Factors, multiply, you get 12. And then add, you get a 7. So I think it's 3 and 4 should work, right? So 3 and 4 should work. So, but you can't write x plus 3 and x plus 4. You cannot write this. No. Why? Why not? So if I go ahead and then do this multiplication, like, you know, the factorings that you guys learned, x times x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12. So that gives me plus 12. So I only get this part, but I don't think this is the same thing as this. So it doesn't work like that. You guys understand what I'm talking about? If you have something like this in front of this, you can't do this factoring like this. What can I do? So this is good so far. And then you take these factors, all I have to do is split the middle term, okay? Just like at the beginning, I think it's Sanjana or one of you guys mentioned, like splitting those things. That's what we're gonna do. So you're gonna write a 6x squared, but the 7x you're gonna write adding these two. So I can write a 3x plus 4x plus 2. What did I do? I wrote the 7 like this. Okay, so I wrote the 7, 3 plus 4. Then what you do, just kind of like factoring. So what I can factor here, I think I can factor out 3x. So that's going to be a 2x plus 1. And then same thing here, factor out 2. Then you're going to be a 2x plus 1. And then I see 2x plus 1 is same. I factor that out. I get 3x plus 2. Okay. So this is the final answer for this. So you get the one of the factors, which is 3x plus 2. So that should work for you. Okay. Good to go. All right. So let's go try one of the questions. Just one question that should be good to go. And then we can move on to the next models of these questions. Very good. I see some answers. All right, I see some answers. That looks good. Some of them are a little confusing. Okay, let's check. Okay. Go. All right. Okay. Excellent. All right. So let's go over this one question, and then we can just move from this topic. I want you to guys practice as many, because then we can't do like all the questions practice yours, because I want to go to one model, and then you can do the practice on your own next. Okay. So quickly, I can check this. So I want to multiply these two first. So that gives me -15. And then 15, I want to get a -2 here. So probably see what is going to work with this. So 15 I can write as 3 times 5. So I think that should work. So I'm going to take a -5 and a +3. So when I add, I get -2. When I multiply, I get -15. So that should work. So I'm going to write it down, 3p2 plus 3p plus 5p minus 5. So what did we do? We wrote -2 like this. Okay. Now factor out 3p, p plus 1, factor out 5, p plus 1. So p plus 1, 3p minus 5. And it doesn't matter if you write it 3p minus 5 first and then p plus 1 later. Okay. So it doesn't matter. And sometimes once you get your answer, you can always check by multiplying back again through the file and see whether you got the right answer or wrong answer. Okay, so you can always do that as well. Section 3. Okay, all good. All right, so next one, when it comes to the polynomial functions, just like any functions, you add them, subtract them, all those things, all the stuff that you do, any general functions, you can also do with the polynomial functions. Okay, so we might see one simple questions like, let's see, expressions to these. I'm going to put some polynomial addition problems and see what you guys think. And then if you have a difficulty, we can go over. Okay. All right, let's try this one. Anvi, can you please read this question for us?
Which of the following is equivalent to 2x bracket x plus 1 minus x squared bracket x plus 1 for all the values of x?
So this is the one test question. We can see some simple questions like this. Let's go give it a try. Also, we can look at it, some technique on this problems, how to answer them faster. Less than 10 seconds, and we can answer this question. Let's give it a try. But just be careful when you answer these questions, okay? Because these are sometimes could be a little tricky too. Good, good. I see some answers. That's good. Hmm. All right, awesome. Very good, very good. Okay, so let's go over a few of these questions so that we, okay, first of all, when you answer this question right here, obviously I can see that 2x and then x plus 1 minus x squared, x plus 1. So what we do normally, kind of like a distributed property, right? So we're going to multiply it 2x squared because x times x squared plus 2x, then minus x squared times 1 is x3, x cubed, and then minus x. And in a standard form, you always write it in a standard form. So the x cubed goes first, and then x squared, and x minus. Okay, do I have two x's? Wait, so I think I did something wrong. Okay, this is x squared. So maybe clean up a little bit. So that is negative x squared. That's going to be 1x squared plus 2x, right? Which is the C is the right answer there. Okay. Now, one thing, how can we do these questions a little faster? Okay. Obviously, this steps, distributing and all, and nothing wrong with that. You can always try to work the same way. But again, this is a times test, so you want to do it faster. So when you do it one faster, like this is what you got to do. So what I'm going to do, there are a couple of things that you need to pay attention to it. So when I look at this question first time, I look for my kind of like pattern. What do I have? I see this is the 2x times x, and this is also x squared times x. So the maximum, the exponent I can get, x3, because I see that right here. So just by default, this is not your answer. Or maybe sometimes it cancels out too. But one thing, since I don't see any other x cubes, only thing is this is the x cube, which is negative. So your answer is by default either this or this. Are you guys following with me? I'll repeat it myself. In this question, I'm applying the process of elimination. First, I see this one right here, x squared times x. My brain telling obviously is x cubed. That's the highest term I can get. So that's negative there. So these two are not my answers. One of them has to be. And then what you can do, look what's the difference in these two. That's the last term. So the last term is a constant, but I can see only thing I can multiply these two or multiply these two. I don't see any constant there. So this is your answer. And move on to next. Do you guys understand? So let's say the question comes under the test like this. So I look at it, okay, it's x cubed. So x cubed, that is negative. So negative x cubed, my answer. So cross these two, and then one of these two, and then look for the difference in a plus 1. I don't see anything. So this is the right answer. So I multiply it like that. So you can use that technique. Okay, elimination. So you can use the elimination so that way you can get the answer faster. Does that make sense? This test is all about apply some techniques, answer faster, so that we can save some time for the word problems. Good. Okay, let's see. Let's try one more simple one today. Alina, can you please read this one? Pops up. There you go.
Which of the following is equivalent to 2x minus 7, 3x plus 1 for all values of x?
It's a simple question, right? All you're asking is like FOIL method. Just multiply them and you should be getting the answer. Okay, go ahead and answer this one. See what you guys get. Good. I'm going to give you guys a technique on this question, but it really doesn't need that technique to do this problem. But if you feel like, okay, that technique is useful, then obviously you can use it. But if you feel like, now I'm going to follow my traditional method, then you're more than happy to follow whatever method you like to. Okay, but I'll give you some technique on this one. Good. Let's see some answers. Okay. Now eyes on the screen. That way you guys are familiar with these type of techniques quickly. Let's see, where is it? Okay. Now let's think this is in the format of ax plus b. Then this is cx plus d in like two polynomials or two binomials. When you multiply this, the formula, the tip rule can say a and c, multiply a and c, these two, and write it x squared. Plus, and then you're going to multiply AD, okay? And then you're going to add that with the BC, multiply these two, and you put an X. And then finally, plus one more, and then finally multiply B and D. Okay, so you may think this is going to be a little bit hard at the beginning, but as you practice a couple of questions, this is going to helpful and handy, and you can do it way faster. So let's say if I have the same question in this case. So first thing is I have AC. So the AC means this and this. That's a 6x2. Okay. No. Finish your homework, please. Okay, so you multiply these two, you got 6x squared, then it says AD plus BC. So the AD means multiply these two. That's gonna get me like what, 2. I'm gonna add, and then you have BC. BC means these two, which is 7 times 3, and that's negative 21. Or you can just write it quickly, that's negative 19x. And then finally BD, that's negative 7. So you already got the answer. So 6x squared, negative 19x minus 7. Okay. So this formula will help you once you get a really good, good at it. But until that, you need to have a little practice. Or if you feel like, nah, I want to follow with my traditional FOIL method, please do so. Good. Show me thumbs up, everyone. I want to make sure that everybody's up and then active, attentive. Put a thumbs up on the screen. Good, good, good. Srinidhi. Sri, can you hear me? Srinidhi.
Yes, what was that?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I did not see thumbs up, so I would just want to make sure you're.
Yeah, it was a bit slow actually, so I was trying.
Oh, okay, no stress, no worries. Okay, just as my, the one reason I think I already mentioned to you guys, turn off the cameras, because I don't want the other kids or get distracted if, somebody's running behind or something going on behind. I don't want to have a distraction. That's the main reason I want you to guys, turn off the cameras, but at the same time, I want to make sure you guys are attentive, because that way you can take most out of this class. Okay, so all right, so that's good, and we're good to go with that question itself. Now, the adding polynomials, sometimes you add polynomials and subtract polynomials as well. But let's see if I can see some practice what we did so far, and then we can move on to the next level in the next class as well. Okay, so these are the type of questions we may see on the test as well. Okay, let me put this one here. So before your final starts, probably next week, maybe we can take a small quiz in math. Please, I'll tell you the topic and you guys can prepare a little bit. Just most of the questions from the notes only. So if you go back and then review the notes, you should be good to go. Okay, so please prepare. I'm going to give you the quiz in the class so you can do that. All right, so let's read the next one. Mihira, can you please read this question for us?
Yep. If x minus 2 times x plus 2 equals 0, then x squared plus 10 equals what?
Let's go try this one. Okay. I see some answers. That's good. That's totally fine. If you don't get it, or even whatever you get it, that's totally good. I see a different answer. That's good. That means it's a good question. Okay, when I see a different answers, that means it's a good question. Try. Let's see. I'm still waiting on the other people. Mihira, Anvi. Oh, Mihira got the answer. Okay. Anvi, Sri. Let's see what you guys think. Okay, no problem. Yeah, if you don't know it, it's okay. You can just put it, I don't know how to do it. That's or I don't know. That's fine. We can check. Okay. Okay, so that's good. All right, no problem. Eyes on the screen then. So especially thing is, it's gonna throw you off x squared plus 10, right? You see that question. Good work, Bhavani. So when you see the question right there, you feel like x squared looks good, but what's gonna get with the 10, right? It's a simple, guys. Very simple. What you need to do is, the FOIL method, right? You can do that, or apply the formula. Is a plus b times a minus b is a squared minus b squared. Use this formula. So if I use the formula, it's going to be x squared minus 4. But there's no way you can see that, like, how do I get this here, right? So all you have to do is to get a 10 here, right? To get a 10, what you got to do, that's all you have to do. Let's say if I add If I take away 4 to the other side, x squared is 4. All I want is x squared plus 10. I'm going to add 10 on both sides. 10 on both sides. That's a 14. That's it. Okay. That's a good question, right? It's a simple one, but it's a confusing one. It chooses your brain. How do I get that 10? So, but that's what it is. Do you guys understand? If you don't understand, please ask. Don't hesitate. So it's you can ask me right away. Stop me right away. So it's all good. Okay, so before we are going to, oh yeah, this question. If I take any paper, always you see this one. Okay, Bhavani, can you please read this question for us?
A minus 3 times a plus k equals a squared plus 3a minus 18 for all the values of a, what is the value of k?
So we got to figure out what could be that a when you multiply them is going to get you that answer there. Or what could be the k value. Okay. Good. And this is the short question. Short question means is like definitely you will see these type of questions on the test. And 99.99% you will see these type of questions. Because it covers the basic concept of factoring, covers the basic speed of your problems. So it's a good question to ask. Very good, very good. And in this question, we're going to look at a technique as well. Okay. Let me go over this one so that way I can, okay, that's fine, no problem. Okay, let's eyes on the screen, everybody. So if you see this equals to this, right? So what we can do the FOIL method, a squared plus AK or KA, whatever, KA, and then plus minus 3A, and then minus 3K equal a squared plus 3A minus 18. So far good. Now let's factor this out because like terms. K minus 3 times A minus 3K equal this entire thing. Okay. In math, when you say two expressions are same, that means the corresponding part should be same. So this is same as this, and then this is same as this, and then this is same as this. So from this, I can pull these two. Negative 3K is negative 18. K is positive 6. Okay, K is positive 6. That's it. That's all we got to do. And if the same question comes under the test, I'm going to show you guys a quick technique. Same question. Let's see if we get the same thing, same question on the test, how we can take care of this one faster. So first thing first, when you see a question like this, all you have to just understand this technique, okay? If you remember, if I go back here, I gave you a formula here. Where is it? Here somewhere. Oh, this one right here. Let me highlight this so you guys know. If you remember this technique, this is going to help you so in a good way. Now, if I go back this one, I see this when I multiply these two, is the last term is B and D. So that is the last term. Okay, last term is a constant term is B and D. I keep that in my mind. I know it's like when I multiply the last two terms, that's my answer for that. So I see the number here, and then if let's say this question comes under the test, I see the last two terms, that's these two, which is negative 3k, which is negative 18. So k is 6. Done. No more. Finish already. We're done with this question. Okay. That speed you got to do. The rest of everything fall behind because we know that last two terms you only multiply is the last term. So your tip in this case, it's basically multiply these two and then equal it to the last one. Even if you feel like, you don't need to write this even, you don't need to write this one. If I want to do this one, okay, I see the 3k, 3 times what gives 16, 3 times 6, 6 is answer, boom, 2 seconds, right? Yeah, so much quicker. That's correct. So that's one of the reasons you guys are here. So I want to teach the concept and then you see the techniques. So you feel like, oh yes, because if I don't teach the concept, you don't know why it is coming from or where it is coming from, because you may forget those techniques. If you forget the technique, there's no point of learning it because I don't want you to do mistakes. Rather, you have the background knowledge and then you apply them really well. So that's going to help you. Okay, awesome, very good. It's almost there. Oh, it's almost 3. Okay, awesome. So this tip will help you. Think is like we did this question like 2 seconds. Like if you say this, think of this. If you see this question in SATs or PSATs, I bet 90% of the question kids, unless they know the technique, they go by method, spoiling and all those things and all those things. Even some of them, 50%, they don't try this one because when they see this A and K's, 2 letters, forget about it. Their 50% is gone. And then the rest of them they try, but only few people get this faster. So you have more time for the next questions that you need to work on through. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna pause right here and we'll continue with our reading and writing. And let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna pause this one right here. So sometimes when it comes to the word problems, you may feel like, okay, yes, I can have some techniques, but still you need to read that problem. It's going to take some time. So in order to get that time, you're going to bring some time from these type of questions, from the techniques that we learn. So you're going to save that time there. That way you can get the best scores, okay? Anyhow, so just to kind of like going back to the last week, kind of like we covered, and the reading and writing is the verbs agrees with the subject. Remember that? So verb agrees with the subject. So we covered that one, and also we learned about some singular and plural ones, plural nouns, where you get some mistakes. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to check on this one quickly. If you guys can put it in the chat box, that will be good. So I'm going to tell you, and you guys to tell me whether it is a plural or a singular. Okay. All right. Bacteria. What do you guys think? If it is plural, put a P, or if it is singular, if it is, yeah, just put an S. So that faster. Bacteria. What do you guys think? Just tell me what is a singular or plural.
Singular.
Okay. Okay. Bacteria. Bacteria is a plural. Please remember that. And the bacterium is the singular form. Okay, so bacterium is singular. Is singular. Okay, good. And let's see, how about data? You can put them in the chat box if you want to put it P for plural, S for singular. I want to see how many of you guys remember still. Data, what do you guys think?
Plural.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I see some back and forth. So data is plural. And then singular is datum. Okay, so the singular is the datum and the data is the plural. Okay, let's see curriculum. Let's try the curriculum. Let's see, curriculum. Is it singular or plural? What do you guys think? You can put them in the chat box. That's good. Okay, okay. 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 Right. Okay. All right. So the curriculum is one, which is singular. And then the plural for this one is the curricula. Curricula is the plural form. Okay. So please go over some of these notes so that way you kind of like refresh your knowledge. You know, these are the confusing ones. That's one of the reasons we go over these. The other ones is not a big deal, but you know, so especially these, you got to be a little bit careful with them. And then one more, and then we can move on from here. How about media? Media is a singular or plural? What do you guys think? You can put it in the chat box, or you can say it. Either way, it's fine. Okay. Okay, good. Come on, come on. I have only got 5 or 6 answers. Come on.
Plural.
Say it, whatever.
Plural.
Okay. Okay. Anvi, I don't see your answers. Alina, answer. Put the answers in the chat box, please. Okay. So the media is a plural, but medium is singular. Okay. So basically, so please go over these notes. Oh, that's one of the reasons I sent them as a PDF. You can download it and put them on your phone or tablet, whatever. You can download it as a PDF document, or if you want to print it out, a couple of pages printed out. So whenever you get a chance, like you have a passing period, but when you have some electives or lunch or or going to the school or coming back from school in the car, bus, whatever, just go over them because brain recognizes the patterns. The more you see, the more you retain it for a longer time. Okay. So I think as I gave you these examples many times, first time when you enter the building, whether it's a middle school or a high school, in the school, it's so new. You don't know where the office rooms are at, or you don't know where the restrooms are at. Like everything is like brand new. It's like we're gonna see like, everything is like, I don't know where it is. You're gonna ask somebody, whatever. But after a week or two, if somebody comes to you and then asks you like, hey, where is the counselor room? Like you just go to the left and hallway, blah, blah, blah. You can tell them right away. Why? That's patterns. Okay. So the more you see, the more you can get better. Otherwise, it's no point. Okay. All right. So when going back to this one, so I'm going to put one question here, and we're going to talk about a few more inverted clauses. Let's see, I'm going to put a one sentence here and see what you guys think. Okay, Saket, can you please read this one for us?
Behind every successful workabout lies countless hours of toil and trial. Behind every successful workabout lies countless hours of toil and trial.
So in these two, which one do you guys think it is correct, or which answer is correct? Is it lie or lies? Okay, put them in the chat box. That's fine. Okay, so this one is a little bit confusing if you look at it carefully. So we're going to try to understand the inverted. What does that inverted means? Okay. All right. So first of all, when I see this question, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to trim the sentence to get the core. Okay. So I'm going to take one of the sentence here and let's trim it. So see what we can get out of this. Okay. Let me put it up here. Okay, so if I look at this one, obviously I can trim the sentence. It says behind is the, I think I can take this off all the way to the art. And then lies count as hours off. Off is the another one, we can take it off here. So now I can see lies count as hours. And then now here we can say carefully the subject and the verb are inverted. Okay, so the subject, hours, and then the verb is the lie or lies. So basically inverted. So normally if you look at it, the subject comes first and then you see the verb, but some cases you're going to see the subject hours comes after the verb lies. Okay, so when we have this one like that, so we can do is uninvert the clauses. Okay, so you can do the uninvert the clauses. So the subject and the verb disagreement is basically, we can see that, you know, in this case. Now you can check it is hours lies should be changed to the hours lie. So in that case, the D is the best answer for this case. Okay, so the subject and the verb are inverted. So we need to do the uninvert. When you uninvert, so you have the hours, obviously you're going to use the lie is the best answer. So I'm going to write it down some rule up here. And also we can check the next one in this case. Whenever you have inverted clauses, I'm going to write it down too so that we have some notes. Inverted clause. So when the verb comes before the subject, verb comes before the subject. Okay. Whenever you see the verb comes before the subject, what we do is usually, normally you see it starts with the dummy subject. Like for example, there, or like behind, or there is, or there are. So these are the normal dummy subjects you can see, and also preceded by a prepositional phrases. Okay, so whenever you see that one, obviously you have to, every inverted clause, it has to be uninverted by just, you know, you got to remove the dummy subject and then rearrange the phrase, and that way you can see which one are you going to use it. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so let's see one quick thing. But otherwise, if everybody's good, show me thumbs up. You understand this on inverted clauses? Show me thumbs up on the screen. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. Okay, excellent. So anytime you see these invert clauses, make sure you uninvert them and then see which one are you going to use it. Okay, that's the important thing. All right, let's move on to the next one. And we're going to talk about the proximity, the next technique. Let's see, I'm going to put a one question here so we can understand what it is. Sritej, can you please read this question for us? Or not question, but
Yeah.
just read this one for us.
Which is correct? E. One or two of my classmates has a strong chance of winning an award. F. One or two of my classmates have a strong chance of winning an award.
What you guys think? I see some answers already coming up. That's good. Okay. All right. I see a couple of the back and forth. Okay. But everybody puts your answer in the chat box just to see what you guys think. Even if it is a mistake, it's not a big deal. We want to see what you know or what you got. That's fine. It's not what you know, but. Okay. All right. So eyes on the screen. Great. So in this case, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim the sentence first. So let's take the sentence, one of the sentence here, and then let's try to trim it so that way we can get what I'm going to use it to it. Let's see. So first of all, when I see the sentence right here, and I'm going to start trimming the sentence here, is it off is my prepositional phrase. I'm going to start taking it off from there. And also I can see it off winning an award. So I can take that off, and then now I can read it one more time. So I can see there's a 1 or 2 has a strong chance. So when I see this as like 1 or 2, and which one should I take it? Take it this one. Am I going to take the 1 or 2? Okay, if it is a 1, then it's singular. But if it is 2, it's going to be a plural. But how do I know which one to take? Then it is called law of proximity. Okay, so it's a law of proximity. So what does this mean? What is the law of proximity means? So I'm going to write it down in case if you have a little running notes, please write it down. These are the small things you have to remember and retain when you answer these type of passages. So let's say if your subject takes A or B form, okay? A or B, like 1 or 2. It assumed to take the number B, okay? So the one closest, which is basically the B, is the one you're going to take it as a consideration, okay? So in this case, let's say if you look at it, the closer to the verb gets the priority, basically. Okay, so if I write it down, little tip here, closer to the verb, closer to the verb gets the priority. Okay, so in this case, I have the 1 or 2. 2 is closer to the verb, so I have to take the plural form. In that case, F is the right answer. Does everybody understand this? Should I go back one more time? That'll be good. Okay, so anytime you have A or B format, remember this, A or B format, you always choose to give the priority which is close to the verb, which is B. So if it says 2 or 1, then you take the has. But if it says 1 or 2, so you take the have. Good. All right, awesome. So since you guys are good to go with that, I think it's, I'm not sure whether we did this one or not. So why don't we, let's practice a little bit, a few of these. So that way we'll get some ideas, like, you know, as we go through. All right, let's see, I'm gonna put some questions and I want you guys to tell me which form or which one is it gonna take. Let's see, maybe I can just, let's see, come on. All right, let me put a couple of questions here. So that way we can go one by one. Maybe we'll take turns of reading so that way. Okay, Abhishek, read the first one.
A flock of geese were startled by the shotgun blast.
What you guys think? Put it in the chat box. Okay, so first one. Okay, so the flock is flock of geese, even though flock means like a lot of birds in there, but flock means we are considering as a one group of geese, or basically, so though it's one, it's a singular. So you're going to use the was for this. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, then you guys can answer this. Okay, so the flock of geese, basically, even though flock means like a group of birds, but again, it's like one group, basically, we can call. So anytime you have a flock, that's basically, it's a one object, or the singular, basically. So you're going to use it was for this one. Okay. All right, next one, let's do the number 2. What do you guys think? You guys are already putting the answers. Okay, go put the answer for number 2. Let's see, Sudesh, can you read the number 2?
The data on my computer were lost when the hard drive failed.
What you guys think? Put them in the chat box. Okay. Good. Everybody try it, put it in the answer in the chat box, number 2. Number those. Come on, guys, you guys already know this one. Put answer in the chat box. Or if not, I gotta ask you guys to turn your cameras on. That's come on, put your answers on the chat box. Maybe I shouldn't need to start doing it. Okay. Okay. So, all right, number 2. We're looking at the number 2. Okay, number 2. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, eyes on the screen. I see some of you guys are having a little bit trouble again. So for the number 2, the data, right? At the beginning, if you look at it, we'll talk about it. Data is plural. Datum is singular. So when I get back to this sentence here, the data on my computer, it's a plural form. So I'm going to use it where. Okay. These are the things you need to know in reading and writing. Now, like especially the writing part, you need to know which one are we going to use it. And that's where, that is the reason this stuff is difficult. Math, if you know that your concepts and little techniques, you know it. But reading and writing, it's a pain in the rear. So you have to be knowing those little things because it's easy to do mistakes. You know, we don't pay attention. Okay, data on my computer, we think it's singular, then we go with was, and then gone, wrong. Okay. All right, number 3. That's here. Let me see. Sanjana, can you please read number 3 for us?
Neither of the twins is/are allergic to penicillin.
Let's see what you guys think. Okay. Okay. Anvi, can you tell me like why you put it is?
Because I think neither is singular.
That's right. That's correct. Okay. Whenever you see a neither, it's basically a singular form. So it always takes the singular word. Good job. Okay. So it's a neither is basically a singular. So you have to use it is for that. Okay. Good work. How about number 4? Let's see. Mihira, can you please read number 4 for us?
Much of what I hear in those lectures go or goes in one ear and out the other.
Okay, go ahead and answer that once. That's good. Let's see some answers. That's good. Okay. All right. Number 4 looks good. So much of what I hear in those lectures. So the lectures, it's basically the plural. It goes with it. Where's the pen? There. Goes. Okay. Good work. And we'll do a couple of more practice and then we can start off this topic. Okay. Let's see number 5, Saket. Can you please read for us?
Amy's like her friend Jamie and Jen want to go to Mount Honko College.
Number 5, what do you guys think? Wants or want? Yeah, let's go one by one. Number 5. Okay. Abhishek, why did you put the wants? Can you just explain your reasoning?
Because Amy is singular.
That's correct. Okay. So in this case, wants is the right answer. Good. Likes her friends. Amy is a singular, so that way we can put that up there. Okay. Okay. Number 6. Let's see who did not read it. Bhavani, can you please read this one for us? Number 6.
Among the lilies and wildflowers, where or was one solitary rose?
Number 6, what do you guys think? Okay, good. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Good. That's good. So singular, that's right. Was one solitary rose. Good job. Good. Srinidhi, number 7. Srinidhi, can you hear us? A little bit of slow internet. Okay, Alina. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you read number 7, please?
Either of the chairperson or her assistants is going to have to make the decision.
Okay, let's look at this one. Number 7. What do you guys think? Either the chairperson or her assistant. Okay, that's correct. Very good. Okay, number 7. It's a plural. Very good. Good job. Okay, very nice. Okay, number 8. Number 8. I want to see some other important ones as well. All right, good job, good work. That's good. Yep, there is hardly even speak to your left. Okay, good job. All right, so we're gonna skip this one since you guys are doing well. Maybe I can send you guys some practice ones so you guys can practice as well too. That should be good. So the next one, the techniques we can see is the how to organize the ideas in your paragraph. Basically, what we can say is the tone of the passage. Okay, so always your ideas cohesively and also make sure the consistent tone in the passage. Okay, the next technique in this one, tone. Okay, now organize your ideas. Basically, you have to organize your ideas. In the ideas. Right, so I'm gonna take one quick paragraph here, and I want you to guys think what is wrong with this passage or wrong with this paragraph. Okay, so let's see. I am going to ask you any volunteers. Let's see if you have any volunteers to read this. Let's see. Anybody willing to read this one? Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
The politics of hydraulic fracturing or fracking have obscured both the dangers and benefits of this new technology. Opponents suggest that the high-pressure fluid used to fracture deep rock formations may contain carcinogens that may seep into groundwater, and that fracking induces earthquakes. Reporters point out that this activity is taking place well below even the deepest aquifers and is well sealed off from human water supplies. The technical term for earthquakes is seismic activity, and the fractures are pretty small, really, only about 1 millimeter or less.
So if you look at it, what do you guys think? What's wrong with this passage or paragraph? Anybody?
It's a run-on.
Okay. Anybody else? Add something more. What do you guys think? What is wrong with this one? Let's have a discussion. Okay, so what is wrong with this one? What do you guys think? Any ideas or anything? Totally
I
fine.
think it's the opposite of a run-on. Not a run-on. It's more like there are periods in the middle of a complete thought.
Right, right. So if you look at it, the paragraph starting really good, right? It started very well, and we can see that's a clear topic sentence is there, and we can see that is the politics of fracking. So we got that clear topic sentence, very good. But then it goes to a quick summary of the two positions on the topic, right? And you can see there's two positions on the topic up here. And then you can see the last sentence. So, and then if you can look at it, the paragraph begins to lose its focus of and also the tone. Okay, so the phrase you can see the pretty small, or you can see the another one is it really, is too conversational for the tone of this paragraph. Everybody agree with that? Because this paragraph started really well. The politics of the hydraulic fracturing or the fracking have obscured both dangers and benefits of the this new technology. This is really nice. It started up very nice, but it does not maintain the focus or the tone for the rest of the paragraph. Okay, so the phrase is like pretty small, really. They're both basically the conversational, not the standard of the paragraph itself. Okay. And the ideas is if you look at the last sentence are not tied logically to the ongoing discussion. If you look at the last sentence in this one, it is not really tied to what we are basically, are talking about in this paragraph. Okay, so if you want to revise this one, so let's say if I want to revise this entire paragraph and write it out together, then I can say, so the point out, like, the activity induced by the fracking is minimal. The vast majority of the fractures is induced or the less than 1 millimeter wide. So it's basically, so whenever you have a passage is given to you, you always look at these things because you're going to read passages and answer those questions based on that passages. So if you say, I have a very good passage, or you can say effective passage. So if I say an effective passage, it should focus on a topic sentence that develop a central idea of the passage. Okay, so if I say a good passage, it should be focused on, first thing is focused on topic sentence, and that develops to the central idea. Central idea. And then, so that way you can see that sounds a good passage. And also, if I see a good passage, it explains or gives you some pictures or they illustrate any significant claims. Okay, so it should explain or illustrate any significant claims are there, and should avoid irrelevant commentary. Okay, it should avoid any irrelevant commentary, and also it should maintain a consistent or appropriate tone. Maintain consistent and appropriate tone. Okay, it should maintain these things, especially if you see a paragraph, you're reading them, you should focus on, you should have these qualities of a good passage or paragraph. Okay, it should focus on a topic sentence that should develop the central idea and also explain the claims and illustrate them. Also avoid any unnecessary information or the commentaries, and also maintain a consistency and consistent and appropriate tone. So for example, this passage, if we started good, because it's really started well. Because, you know, it's politics and everything is good. The topic sentence is really nice. We can find it right away. So the politics of fracking, but as soon as it's done, it started going down. Okay, so those things you need to be focusing on when you are reading these passages. Yes, suck it. Okay, all right, good to go. Makes sense. So it's really important whenever you have a passages, make sure you guys are focused more, and also like read them as you're reading them. You kind of like focus on these things. Okay, this is a good passage or not. Okay, so what's time? Okay, it's almost closed. So what we're gonna do is the next week we're gonna learn more on these techniques. And then probably you guys learned or heard about the comma splice. So we can talk about the comma splice. So that way it's going to be really important that you see them on the test as well. So that way we can take care of that. Okay, so that is good. And also maybe I can send you guys this one more time, the passage. Then we can go over more. Let's see, hold on. Oh, really? Makes sense. Okay. Because I understand it, again, as I mentioned to you, at this point of time, a lot of tests are coming up, especially those kids are taking the AP classes. I totally understand, you know, pay attention to the AP classes, because not just the SAT scores are important, your GPA also matters. So you have to have a good GPA as well. So I want to guys make sure you guys are, you know, taking care of that really well. Okay. And sometimes if you might need to allocate more time to AP tests, that's okay with me. But if you're done with that, just go back to the normal and then focus on back on. Or if you can manage both, that's totally good too. But try to do your best. That's what I can say, because everybody's situation is different, but it is good to go along with them too. Okay. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Thank you. I see some comments. That's what I was chat box. Okay, I see some AP exams coming up. That's okay. And yes, once you're done with the test, and then you can definitely focus back on, or you can simultaneously pull some time out there, so that way we should be good to go. But at the same time, if you guys need some help for your finals, I have plenty of teachers. They work with us. Don't think it's only we help you guys with the math or English. We have teachers for physics, chemistry, economics, history, biology, AP biology, all the AP classes. We have teachers for them. Okay. If you need help, please don't hesitate to reach us so we can put you guys somebody to help you out there. Okay. But do well. That's our main goal, is just teacher and parent. Okay. Awesome, guys. You guys take a wonderful break. I'll send you those notes and also some practice on the reading and writing part too. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.